Okay, so good morning everyone. Before anything else, let us first have a short prayer. Okay, so please all stand. And who wants to lead the prayer? Anyone? Okay, so Elena, please lead the prayer.
Please bow your heads and let us pray. Dear Jesus, please show me how to spend this day sharing your love in every way. Help me to be kind to everyone, to play and laugh and have lots of fun, shining your light and giving your grace, sharing your joy with a smile on my face. Angel of God, my guardian dear, to whom God's love commits me here. Ever this day be at my side, to light and guard, to rule and guide. Amen.
Okay, so thank you, Elena. So, good morning, my dear students. So, how are you today? Yes, very good. So it's good to hear that you are all doing fine. Okay, so for us to be completely fine, let us clap over our heads and we won't stop clapping until I won't stop counting. Is that clear? Yes, very good. So in the count of 3, 2, 1, come on, clap. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, so now you may now sit down. Okay, so is there any absent today? None? Okay, so very good. So now let us have a game. So I have here a set of incomplete words and you have to complete them by providing the right letters. Okay, so complete the following terms. Are you ready? Okay, very good. So, in the first number we have here, what do you think is the answer? Okay, so just raise your hand if you want to answer. Anyone? Yes, Jessica. Very good. Number 1 is commensalism. How about number 2? Anyone? Yes, Mark? Very good. Number 2 is predation. So let's proceed to number 3. What do you think? Okay, so Almira? Exactly. Number 3 is competition. So how about number 4? Yes, Anna? Yes, exactly. Number 4 is mutualism. And we have here number 5. Okay, so who wants to answer? Yes? Yes, George? Yes, very good. Number 5 is parasitism. Okay, so it seems that you have had an encounter or you are already familiar with these following terms. Okay, so now I have here several pictures. Okay, so you have to identify what kind of ecological relationship the picture shows. Okay, so you have to choose your answer inside the box. Okay, so we have here parasitism, commensalism, predation, mutualism, and competition. Okay, so let's proceed to the first picture. Okay, so what do you think is the answer? Yes, Ella, number 1. Very good. Number 1 is parasitism. So let's proceed to picture number 2. What do you think? Yes? Yes, John? Excellent. Number 2 is competition. So how about picture number 3? Oh, a fish, and a sea animal. So what do you think? Yes, very good. Number three is commensalism. So let's proceed to picture number four. A bear and a fish. Okay, so who wants to answer? Yes, Mary? Very good. Number four is predation. And lastly, we have here the fifth picture. Yes, anyone? Yes, Annalyn? Very good. Our fifth picture is mutualism. Okay, so you are all very good. So now, let us examine the pictures that we have seen earlier. Okay, so we have five pictures here. And these five are examples of ecological relationships. Okay, so what do you think is the importance of ecological relationship? Anyone? Anyone? Okay, Maria, please stand up. Okay, so what do you think is the importance of ecological relationship in our ecosystem? Very well said. Okay, so ecological relationship is important because every part has its own duties in maintaining the natural flow of the ecosystem. Okay, so another. Who has another answer? Okay, so Jane, yes, please stand up. Very good. So ecological relationship is important because its purpose is to benefit other organisms for them to survive, for survival. Okay, so now let us have a group activity. Before proceeding to our activity, let us first recall our guidelines in having a group activity. Okay, so who can give me the first guideline? Anyone? Yes, Selena? Yes, be cooperative. So another. Yes, Mark? Very good. Be active and participative. And another, last one. Jessica. Okay? Very good. Respect other groups. Okay, so I will group you into three. So in group one, we have mutualism. Group two, predation. And group three, we have the parasitism. Okay, so you will going to present an imagery of the ecological relationship that is assigned to you. Is that clear? So I will be going to give you 5 minutes to plan and prepare for your presentation. Okay, so you may now go to your designated groups and you can now start your activity. Okay, so are you done? Okay, so if you are done, let us hear your observations in our activity. Okay, so I need one representative in each group to present their explanations, observations, and the activity that you have done. Okay, so in group 1 we have Jessa. Group 2 we have, yes, Mark. And group 3 we have Charles. Okay, so let's start from group 1. Okay, so Jessa, um, you may now come here in the front. Yes, very good. So in mutualism, Jessa is right. So in mutualism, two 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 organisms are being benefited. So very good. So in group 2, we have here Mark. Yes, very good. So in predation, one organism is the one who kills while the other is being eaten. And group 3, we have Charles. Yes, very good, Charles. So in parasitism, one organism is being benefited while the other is being harmed. Okay, so very good. Now, for us to have a better understanding on our topic, let us now proceed to our discussion. Okay, so we are going to have a better understanding in ecological relationship. Okay, so organisms form relationship because they are connected. Other organisms compete against other organisms for resources or spaces. And some organisms depend on each other for them to yes, anyone? Very good, for them to survive, for survival. Okay, so now ecological relationship is categorized by two types. Okay, so we have symbiotic relationship and the non-symbiotic relationship. Okay, so let us first focus on symbiotic relationship. Okay, so in focus on symbiotic relationship. Okay, so imagine life without your best friend. So imagine life without your best friend. So who would you uh, who would you hang out with or talk to about your problems, your struggles, your hardships in life? So life would definitely be so lonely. Life would be so hard. Okay, so we need friends, we need friendship for companion, for fun, and of course for support. And animal species need relationships too. They also need lifelong relationship, and that's what we call the symbiotic relationship. And symbiotic relationship is generally characterized by different types. Okay, so first we have here parasitism. So in parasitism, one organism is being benefited while the other is being harmed. Is that clear? Okay, so let's proceed to the second type, which is the mutualism. So in mutualism, um, two organisms are being benefited. So there is no organism that is being harmed. Okay, so is that clear? And of course, the third one is the commensalism. So in commensalism, one species benefits the other, is one species is benefited while the other is neither help nor harm. Okay, so now let us proceed to the non-symbiotic relationship. Okay, so non-symbiotic relationship is the species do not live together. So in symbiotic, the relationship, the organisms rather, live together, but in non-symbiotic relationship, the organisms do not live together, nor are dependent on each other. So the relationship is facultative or opportunistic, but does profit the organisms when together. So that's what we call non-symbiotic relationship. So in non-symbiotic relationship, we have two types. Okay, so first is we have the predation. Okay, so in predation, it is a non-symbiotic relationship wherein one organism or kills or eats other organisms for them to survive. And predator and predation, we have predator and prey. So when we say predator or predator, it is the one who eats or kills other organisms. So while in prey, prey is the one who is being eaten by the predator. Okay, so are we clear? Yes. So now let us proceed to the competition. Okay, so in competition, um, okay, so competition. So it is when organisms compete for limited resources like food, shelter, air, territory, and of course, mates. Okay, so this is all about ecological relationship. So now let us proceed to the examples of ecological relationships. So first we have here mutualism. Okay, so we have here bee and a flower. Okay, so bees rely on the flower for food source. So the flower benefits because the bee uh, picks up pollen and transports it to another flower. Okay, so that's what we call mutualism. So it is an example of mutualism, bee and a flower. So now let's proceed to commensalism. So we have here clownfish and sea anemones. Okay, so clownfish and sea anemones. So clownfish live in anemones that gives them protection. So sea anemones do not benefit from clownfish. Okay, so that's what we call commensalism. Are we clear? Okay, so let's proceed to parasitism. So we have here an example of parasitism. So we have here tick on a dog. Okay, so tick attach themselves onto the skin of a dog. So the tick suck the blood of the dog and can transfer disease or illness. So the dog may get weak or ill and the dog is being harmed. So that's what we call parasitism. So now let's proceed to predation. So we have here the bear and the fish. Okay, so the bear eats the fish. Okay, so the bear is considered as the predator while the fish is considered as the prey. Okay, so is that clear? So now let us proceed to competition. So we have here the lion and cheetahs. Okay, so lion and cheetahs compete for food. Okay, so they are competing with each other for food and other resources. Okay, so is that clear? Okay, so I think you already have had a better understanding about ecological relationships. So let us recall our discussion a while ago. So how many ecological relationships we have in our ecosystem? So anyone who wants to answer? Yes, Ella? Yes, very good. So we have 5 ecological relationships in our ecosystem. And what are those 5? Yes, Mark? Excellent. So those ecological relationships are parasitism, commensalism, mutualism, predation, and competition. So our predation and competition belongs to symbiotic relationship. What do you think? Yes, Charles? Very good. So predation and competition do not belong to symbiotic relationship because predation does not occur in a long period of time while competition is an um, indirect association with other organisms. Okay, so very good. So since you already have knowledge about ecological relationships, you will going to have a written quiz. So please bring out a one whole sheet of paper and a ball pen. So you have to describe the following ecological relationships briefly and identify if it is belong to symbiotic or non-symbiotic relationship. Okay, so we have here the following ecological relationships. So we have the parasitism, predation, commensalism, mutualism, and competition. So I will give you 10 minutes to answer, and after 10 minutes, we will going to check it. Okay, so your time starts now. Okay, so are you done? Okay, very good. So, um, please pass your papers in front. Okay, so now, as your assignment, you are going to give one example in each ecological relationship listed below. So we have mutualism, predation, commensalism, mutualism, and competition. Okay, so I hope that you have learned something today, and thank you for your cooperation and participation. Let us call it a day and goodbye. Goodbye, class.